Good morning, traders. That's my morning video real quick here. Let's see what happens here real quick. So, some little things I'm looking at here, guys. This thing's around a little bit later. So we got a little bit in the bonds this morning. Could be a little bit of risk off hedging here into the bond market this morning. Some main takeaways that I got going on here. One being we came down to the 4-hour Bollinger Band low yesterday on the NQs, and we're currently trading right off that level this morning. In addition to that, the NQs have had enough time going sideways on the 4-hour. We literally have a ledge. The 4-hour lower Bollinger Band is actually acting as a ledge. It's not descending. So a lot of times that can be a big signal of a major break point in the markets actually building out that ledge for a breakdown in the markets on the 4-hour time frame. So be very mindful of that. So basically 22,165 here on the NQs today could be a break point. And so basically we tried to push higher this week and they couldn't really blow up the puts, breaking out of the range on the NQs. Okay, but so now here we are going in OPEX tomorrow. They may want to be blowing up the call premium to the downside, expanding range to the downside today, just so Wall Street gets paid for the week. And so that is a primary thesis that we have to be thinking that's going to happen today. That we could actually be breaking some support, short-term supports here, just so Wall Street can get paid. Don't get me wrong, it could be a much greater sell-off in play here, but so far every week you tend to at some point get a big payout for Wall Street, and we haven't had it yet this week, and it's been a holiday shortened week. So, seeing as we looked above on SPY and ES's yesterday, and it failed, that's another thing I want to mention right here. Uh, uh, it's a pretty good chance that we're going to have range expansion to the downside today to actually blow up that other side of the equation. So and when I say Wall Street, I mean the market makers. So they're the ones that control, they're the ones writing options for the public to buy. So they try to push price in their direction every week at some point, at least one time, and we haven't really had that yet this week. So let's be very mindful of that scenario playing out here. Okay. Now on ESs, okay, guys, in that situation, I would think we'd be coming down to 6,100. That'd blow up a lot of that premium. That would be my, primary target, barring some sort of news event, that catalyst that could actually blow everything up. But that would be a normalized retrace down to 6,100 today in that potential scenario. Now, if you see here, I've got these drawn here on my ESs. I'm going to blow the ES chart up here real quick, and we're going to go out here on a bigger time frame. And as you can see here, see this channel that I got thrown on here this morning. We are looking below that channel again. We've looked below it before, but generally when we get below that, it can ignite higher volatility in the markets. And we are technically outside of that early on this morning. So we have to be mindful of that scenario playing out here. The volatility could. But if you look at the VX futures and the VIX, they are contained so far this morning. There's not giving us an over bearish sign yet, but it would just take a whisper or a catalyst, some sort of catalyst to start breaking this down to the downside. Now, if you're a volume profile person, let me find it here, Market Webs, there's, okay. And we go weekly time up 1 hour back there. Okay. Don't need all these others, okay. This is our 1 hour volume profile on the, this is, when you use the 1 hour and 4 hour time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour, this gives you the weekly volume profile for Market Webs on those time frames. And that little push up yesterday above these prior all-time highs, putting a new higher high in, that actually completes a bell curve on the weekly time frame. And so ES rules them all when it comes to the markets. And the fact that the ES's volume profile is technically a completed bell curve. So basically, this is technically an exhaustion high. Okay. from a weekly standpoint, and the fact that now not only the NASDAQ, but the Russell as well did the exact same thing. Came down to the 4-hour Bollinger Band. Now, the Bollinger Band on the 4-hour on the Russell, it's at a, it's not flat. It's at a down sloping. Okay, so I can't really say I can't that there's not a line in the sand on that one. Okay, but my point is they both came down to their 4-hour Bollinger Band lows yesterday, and we're trading right next to those lows on both of them today. So those are our risk on indicators in the market. So the fact that the Nasdaq has technically completed the Bollinger or the volume profile, and then we're seeing that on our risk on assets this morning, I'm putting up a red flag. Okay, guys, I'm putting on a big red flag on the markets this morning. So yes, VIX is not spiking yet. VIX is not giving us the indication of there's trouble in the markets. But if we start pushing down below these levels, I've got them marked out here. Like I said, I already showed you on the uh, Nasdaq. Uh, it's also on the Russell. It's a very clear situation on the Russell as well. Come down here, maximize. So right down here, right here is the Bollinger Band right here. Okay. See, like I said, it's sloping. That yellow line right there, it's sloping. So I really don't want to be a short in the Russell per se because of the slant. But with this being a hard, uh, flat horizontal Bollinger Band low on the 4-hour, this here, if it starts breaking, I would be really getting interested to the short side. So I mean, and so be very mindful on that in today's session that we could very well be coming down to the 22,000, 22,100, or even potentially down to 22,000. Okay, we could actually be overshooting that all the way down to 22,000. So be very mindful of that scenario in today's trading. Okay, on the uh, on the NQs. Okay. Let's see here. What else we got going on here? We do have a Thursday put wall at 22,000 as well. So even if we come down to 22,000, that's not the end of the world. Okay. That's where our put wall is. So it'll likely be defended at 22,000. But we just have to be very mindful of that scenario in today's trading. Okay. We have also a put wall at 22,050. So there's two little areas there suggesting that we could be coming down to the put walls if because us being at the lower Bollinger Band, that they may want to test the bottom end of the range. And we know the skew is at all-time highs. So the idea of coming down and testing the put walls, possibly breaking them, but at least testing them, that kind of, there's logic to that, seeing that there's so many puts already out there. And, it gives the opportunity for the market makers to blow up the call side. I mean, it just kind of feels like that there is a potential for that before tomorrow's expiration. And if they do it today, then they could possibly rally the market tomorrow, situation. So just be very mindful. That's kind of what I'm thinking in the back of my head. Things happening this morning. Baba reported last night. It is just smoking. All the China internets are just on fire. Yeah, China could have a bid all day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've come considerably already, so I don't know if I want to be in something that has just completely left the station. But wow, I tell you, wow, China internets are just on fire. We're still holding around the 140 critical consolidation area for the NVIDIA. Okay, so that's kind of saying, that's not really giving us any type of warning right there. And NVIDIA holding it right around 140. So we may not even get any type of push anywhere. I'm just saying most weeks we tend to get market makers tend to get paid. So just be very mindful of that. Other things happening here. Palantir. Palantir was on here earlier. It really, they came out. The CEO is changing uh, something with his stocks buybacks or something like that, and because the Department of Defense is having some massive cuts, part of this Doge movement, they are really coming in and slashing things. And Palantir gets most of their income from the government, And so it is a prime target to get really impacted by all this Doge movement hitting the um, uh, you know that the bite or that the Trump administration is currently under. So Palantir, this break, this could be a major break for Palantir. Just realizing how the government, how the kind of spending cuts that they're talking about in the government. So be very mindful of that. Okay. Other things I got going on here. I'm sorry. I'm rambling and I'm not changing my charts. I'm sorry. VIX is still contained. Okay, guys. We could very well be pushing one edge or the other before the open here. Got an hour. Anything can happen. We could be up here, down here. You just don't know. I would be much prefer to be pushing one end range or another to think we were in a trend today. So, we're not really doing that so far. So be very mindful of that. Skew did come off the all-time highs yesterday on our skew just a little bit. Um, but yeah, my main thing though is knowing that there is a ledge on uh, the Nasdaq today. That ledges like to be broken. So down here, that's our 4-hour Bollinger Band ledge. We start looking below that today after we already tagging it yesterday. And the fact that the ESs are breaking below this trend line, that could be confirmation of Wall Street's wanting to get paid on the call side. So be very mindful of that. Understanding how price moves and why price moves is important. It's not about the markets being bullish, not or bearish. It's about Wall Street wants to get paid every week, and you know so by pushing things up yesterday, they finally they were able to take their puts, take all their premium off their put side, and now today they may want to be taking premium off the call side. So be very mindful of that. Okay, thanks a lot. Please like my video if you get a chance, and I'll have comments below. If you're wanting my trading grid, okay, I will have the link below. I forgot to put that yesterday. I said I was going to, but I forgot. For any TOS users, you can get the link, and it will be a shared link. Uh, so you can, it should auto update on its own. You shouldn't have to get the link every day if you want it with my levels. So when I update my levels, you'll get my levels. That's one great feature on TOS. If you guys want it will be in the comments below. Be sure and leave a comment if you do take it, so I do know somebody's actually used it. That way, I don't have, I can focus on trying to add content to that link. Because if nobody's using it, then I don't have to worry about it, and I can just create a new shared link at some other point down the road. So uh, just something to think about. Okay, thanks.